สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for an omelette salad. Yes, now I know that sounds a little odd, but stick with me, it's super good. So in Thai, this is called Laabไข่เจียว. So Laab is a type of Thai salad that's from the northeast. ไข่เจียว is a Thai omelette. So Laab is typically made with ground meat. But in my family, we started subbing out the ground meat with eggs because sometimes there just isn't any meat available, but we always have eggs, and it turned out to be pretty good, so we just kept making it. Now, I don't know if this is something other Thai households also make, but it's definitely something we make a lot. So let's get started. So let's start with the omelette or the kai jiao, which, by the way, just the kai jiao on its own with some rice and some sriracha on it, that's a perfect meal already. But we're gonna jazz it up today. So I've got 3 eggs here. Now, usually kai jiao is seasoned with fish sauce, but because there's already a lot of fish sauce in the dressing of the salad, I'm gonna change it up and make it interesting with some oyster sauce. It's not commonly done, but I like to put a little bit of oyster sauce in my kai jiao. I'm making this a little bit under seasoned, okay? So if you were to make regular kai jiao, you would need more seasoning than this, but because there will be a dressing, this needs to be a little muted. So pull up your fork just to check to see if there are any gloopy bits of egg whites. Ooh, that's it. Looks good to me. So I've got here a non-stick pan, and I actually like to do my kai jiao in a flat skillet rather than a wok because I can lift this up and toss my omelette and flip, and the wok is just too heavy for me to do that with comfortably. So I'm gonna turn this on. Don't be shy with the amount of oil. As you can see, I've got quite a bit here. If you don't have enough oil, sometimes the kai jiao it just feels really dry, and also it's just not as puffy. It'll be a little more dense. So I'm gonna just get that hot. You can always do a little test by dropping a little, nope. When you drop a little bit of egg in, it should instantly react and poof up. So now I'm gonna get rid of that little egg bit using a mini skimmer. And special thanks to a Hot Thai Kitchen fan from New York City who sent me this cutest little skimmer ever. It's perfect for removing mini omelettes. Okay, that looks good. See, it should pop up just like that. So now I'm gonna go in with all of my egg. Heat not too high, otherwise it'll burn too quickly. And then, so what I like to do is I get all this liquid stuff underneath so it cooks a little quicker. And you want to do this early on because otherwise, like the 2 layers of eggs won't blend in nicely. But for this though, we're cutting it all up and tossing it into a salad, so it doesn't matter if it's all destroyed at this point. Which reminds me, I should put on an apron for this. It's looking okay. It's not too runny anymore at this point, so I'm just gonna do a flip. If you're not comfortable flipping, go ahead and like cut this thing in half and use a spatula. We're cutting this all up at the end, so it doesn't matter, right? 1, 2, 3, hup. Woo! Beautifully golden brown. Now, unlike a French omelette where you want it to be super lemony yellow, we like our omelettes golden brown. That's where like the flavor is. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this off now. The residual heat will cook the egg the rest of the way. And I know it looks really exciting now because it's all puffed up. Do not worry, it'll deflate as soon as you get it out of the pan. Whoop! Look how pretty that is! And look how it just very quickly deflated. Do not worry, that's just what it does. And if you want, you can just like go and dab some oil from the surface, the excess oil, but I don't like to, you know, some of you might be tempted to just put some paper towel on here and put the egg on there. I find that that does absorb oil, but it also kind of dries out the egg quite a bit. So I just find that this way, you know, you get rid of the any pooling oil on the surface, but it doesn't just dry the eggs out. This smells so good. The smell of kai jiao just takes me right back home. So you want to just cut this up into bite-sized pieces for a salad. You can be neat about it. You can roughly tear it. Kai jiao is actually one of those dishes that like every kid learns how to make as like their first thing. I think this really was the very first thing I ever cooked. Okay, this is still pretty hot, so I'm gonna just let that cool a bit. Let's take a look at the rest of the salad, which is super easy. If you already know how to do lab, this part is gonna be straightforward. Which reminds me, I need to get my herbs out of the fridge. There we go. Okay, so the herbs, which is super common to lab, are mint, cilantro, and green onions. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to add it. If you don't like green onions, you don't have to add it, but you have to add the mint. That is the most important ingredient here, okay? And to this, I'm going to add some sliced cucumber. Now, you don't have to. I just find that just the eggs and herbs alone is a little heavy. So I want something crunchy in that mix. Some shallots. This is also very, very important. If you can't find shallots for whatever reason, thinly sliced red onions will work just fine. Thinly sliced lemongrass here. This is totally optional. This, however, is not optional, and that is toasted rice powder, or what we call khao khua. I've made this many times, but it's super simple. You just take some uncooked rice, could be jasmine rice or sticky rice, and then I like to throw in a couple of kaffir lime leaves in there to add some flavor. Dry toast it over medium-high heat until it's nice and deep golden brown. Grind that up in a mortar and pestle, or you can use a coffee grinder, and then what you have is basically magic powder. It's so nutty and aromatic. It'll add a little bit of texture as well. So good. And Laab is always spicy, but we never use fresh chilies for Laab. We always use dry chili flakes. Now, these are not regular chili flakes. They're roasted chili flakes. As much as you want. This is super spicy, so I'm only going to a little bit. All right, so let's give this a quick mix. So now the egg is just kind of lukewarm, so we can add those in. Now, I know it's a very dry salad right now because we haven't added our dressing, and the dressing for Laab is like, it's as simple as it gets. Just fish sauce and lime juice. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the lime juice first. For the fish sauce, I am using my luxury Red Boat fish sauce. This is here, I'll show you the bottle. So I was finally able to track down the most premium, best quality fish sauce on the market. FYI, not sponsored. This is the most delicious fish sauce, but it's also the most expensive. So I reserve it for things like a salad where the fish sauce is like the main ingredient. If you haven't seen my fish sauce 101 video, check that out. I do sort of a fish sauce tasting of a whole range of fish sauce. It's super interesting. I'll put the link right up here if you missed that. Now, some of you may think that that doesn't look like a lot of dressing, but the nature of the eggs is like a sponge. Everything you pour into it gets absorbed right into the egg. So you'll notice nothing is pooling at the bottom. So that's why you really don't need a lot, and you can easily overdo it with this salad. Such simple goodness. I mean, egg dishes are the best, right? Because we always have eggs in the fridge. Ooh. Now, this I would either eat on its own or with some hot jasmine rice is perfect as well, but I'm gonna try it straight up for you. Little piece of egg, some cucumber, make sure you get some mint in there. The smell of Laab. You cannot mistake that for anything. There is something about the combination of mint and lime that just goes so well together. The tartness of the lime and the refreshing, cooling aroma of the mint. If you've had a mojito, you know what I'm talking about. It works so well in this dish. And I'm so surprised how fast it came together and just how delicious it is with just some simple ingredients. And trust me, if you make this for your friends, it'll be completely unique. I've never seen a restaurant that sells this. I've never even seen a restaurant in Thailand that sells this. So I hope you give this a try. The recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. When you make it, send me a photo on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure you do so you don't miss an episode, and click that little bell icon to make sure you get a notification every time I post a new video. If you love the show and you want to support us, check out our Patreon link in the description below, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.